Hey everyone, Matt Winsenreid here with Matt Winsenreid Real Estate Partners, and we are excited to showcase another Fitchburg business. Today I have Kelley Sinclair at Lioness Fitness. I'm really excited to learn a little bit more about your business and your involvement here in Fitchburg and reasons why you came to Fitchburg with Lioness Fitness. But first, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I grew up in Wisconsin and started my grown-up career as a music educator, and then took a sabbatical when I had my second kiddo. And when I came back, wanted to get into personal training. I had met Kim, who's the founder of Lioness, through our husbands who worked together, and reached out to her to see what would go into that. She said, "I'm opening our own space, and why don't you get your certification and come work for me?" So then over the course of many iterations, because of the pandemic and all that kind of exciting stuff,
Yeah.
we ended up going virtual for a while. She and her family went on a different path, and I fully took over operations, and then here we are.
Yeah, that's incredible. Working through COVID and the shutdown, and especially in this space of fitness, and when you're used to coming into a physical location, but you were able to kind of adapt and go virtual for a little bit. Is that?
We did. So we had a different location in Fitchburg, which we had opened in January of 2019. And then a year later, as we went to celebrate our first birthday, I had the Costco cake in our car, and we had to call everything off. So we tried to come back in person for a while, but it's just very tricky for gyms at that time to know what the rules and regulations were. And I think our people really appreciated having the virtual outlet. So we did a lot of live, Facebook workouts, and then we went to YouTube and recorded things. So for about a year and a half, we were fully virtual.
Wow. Okay. And then you guys came back in person.
We sure did.
And you landed on this space eventually.
We did.
Share a little bit for those who don't know where we are. Kind of share where we are and kind of how you end up landing here.
Sure. So right on Nesbitt Road, down between the Garden Center and Swim West, which is always, I feel like, a good point of reference for people. And we landed here because this space was already outfitted to be a gym. It was the previous Orange Shoe space. So we thought, well, feels like low barrier to entry. We had the nice, lovely, warm, welcoming, opening space here where we'd also do some yoga. And then we have the gym space with all of our big equipment.
Awesome. Yeah, actually, good transition. Tell us a little bit about your offerings. So yoga, which I didn't know about. Share a little bit more, just kind of the inner workings of Lioness Fitness.
Yeah, so it began because the founder was looking for a way to come back safely and effectively after having her kiddos, and just couldn't quite find what she wanted, so she decided to design her own program. And from there, we've built out a series of classes. Most of them are our foundational strength class, which focuses on proper form and progressive overload, making sure that everyone is finding what their strength level really is, because most women underestimate what they can actually lift in the gym. And so helping them find that, but do it safely, because we all have different aches and pains and injuries that we're working through, sometimes that have developed over years, and sometimes because you slept wrong. So we have everything from a more boot camp style class with lighter weights and higher reps, all the way up to a powerlifting class. We do offer not straight yoga, but we have a yoga instructor on staff, and so she does a strength and stretch class, which is really popular. She does 30 minutes of strength, and then they just relax and breathe and stretch and reconnect, and before they head off into the world. So.
And one thing you mentioned that we actually haven't explicitly said, so this is a women-only facility, is that correct?
It is. Okay. It is. I think this space is so important because strength training is the one thing that we all need across the board, women even more so, and it's a space that hasn't always been very welcoming for women. So this allows women to come in and make mistakes and learn and ask questions and not feel like someone's judging what they're doing. Are they lifting, heavy enough? They can just be vulnerable and really get in touch with their bodies and learn how incredibly strong they are.
Yeah, I can see how super important that is. And some gyms will have like a female-only section or something like that, but have a place that's dedicated, and I'm sure your workouts are specifically catered towards women and maybe areas that they want to develop more than just kind of the general population. So you're able to kind of target that and give them what they need.
Yeah, and women are unique in that, there's a famous fitness person who often says women are not small men. And so they do need slightly different training. You know, we have different cycles that we're working through. We have women who are coming to us, you know, pregnant or postpartum, and really learning how to work with their body as it adjusts through those phases.
Sure. Yeah.
And so it's really nice to have a community of people who have both gone through it. Not everybody in our community, but there's a lot of support there. And then just kind of really allowing themselves to take that step back and reconnect, learn what their body needs, and then progress forward.
I think you said something really important there that people don't realize. When you are going to the gym, some people think you just go in, get a workout out, and leave. But if you, in my opinion, if you're doing it right, you're part of a community. So, and then that community gives you encouragement or support, or can even challenge you. And then you come in from a perspective of certain things that are just unique to women, in a sense of, like you were mentioning, pregnancy or whatnot, that you can have that support from somebody who's going along through it with you, or just went through it. And I'm sure there's concerns like, should I lift weights when I'm pregnant? Should I not? At what point should I hold back, or whatever the case is, when not only yourself as you know, running the company, but also as other members here that can share some of their experience with them to help. So the community piece, I think, again, when people think of going to the gym, I think they miss out. For some people, it works to go in and just get a workout on and get out there, sure. But there's so much more to it, and I think you get better results when you're part of a community. So. Oh,
absolutely. They show up. It's one of my favorite parts is when I hear them, you know, connecting to get coffee outside of the gym, or we have lots of women here who own their own businesses. And so they're collaborating and making new connections, and then, you know, kind of spreading the news about their adventures and all that kind of stuff outside of this space. And they look at the thing that gets you to come to the gym, if you're not intrinsically motivated, is that person who's waiting for you. You know that person who is always in class with you, who's waiting for you. And if you're sitting at home thinking, man, I'd rather just not go, then there's some extra motivation, a little bit of a push to go.
And I need that in my life. So that's where I go, that I know that if I miss a class or two, you know, somebody will be like, hey, we missed it. And I was like, yeah, that's a little, when you're like, I'd rather just, you know, sleep in or something like that. No, I have somebody kind of hold me accountable there that way. So that's awesome that you've been able to cultivate that type of community, and I'm sure the results that people see because of it just exceeds their expectations. So on that note, obviously you spend a ton of time here at the gym and working, but when you're not here at the gym and working on the business, where can we find you?
Yeah, I have 2 kiddos, and we live here in Madison, so we try to get out whenever we can, and they're busy with sports, so it's a lot of, you know, chauffeuring around, but we like to get out and hike, and especially now that the weather's nicer, getting down to the farmer's market and, you know, enjoying all that Madison has to offer. In the winter, we're huddled up around the oven, baking things and doing puzzles and, you know, just kind of cozying up.
And you just mentioned you just came back from a trip with your daughter as well.
Yes, yep. Got out to New York to see some shows and explore the big city life. And
yeah, that stuff is important. I can easily, as a business owner myself, get consumed with just the day-to-day operations and don't take time for yourself. But,
for sure.
To go on trips with your family or stay in and bake with them can go a long way with just your own mental well-being, and be able to come back to the business in a better spot. So that's great to hear.
For sure.
Since we do focus on Fitchburg here with what we're trying to put out there for our community, share some things about Fitchburg specifically that you've been happy about, like setting up shop here. Like what made this the great location for you?
Sure. Well, it's centrally located for a lot of our people. So in all of our various iterations of the business, we've collected people from all around Dane County, and this is just a nice central location, lots of major thoroughfares so they can get to us pretty easily, lots of accommodations and things that they can get to if they need to. So many people are leaving here to go to the grocery store and to go run a few other errands, or they're on their way to work, so this is a nice central spot. And they're just, it's been really nice to get to know other business owners in Fitchburg and meet that community.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. Awesome. Well, if you guys are looking for, you women in particular, are looking for an opportunity to build community and get a great workout in, feel free to reach out to Kelley and come out and check out this awesome facility that she's been able to develop. Kelley, thanks for your time today. It was great getting to know you for a little bit here, and look forward to connecting with you more in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Great, thanks.